And good morning. Welcome to Sports Talk. Good happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter.
I don't know why I said good in front of it. We're between Good Friday and
Good
Happy
Friday
Easter.
and Easter.
So,
yeah.
Happy
So,
Easter. Just around the corner. Less than 24 hours away now.
It is.
Easter Sunday. And glad to be back with you after a week off. Mike was out of town last Saturday. I was out of town for a whole different reason last Saturday. And
Really? What was that? You never tell me.
did I not?
No.
Well, it might be personal. I might not
Okay,
want
that's right.
to.
You don't want that aired. I got you. Okay.
You know what it is. If
Yeah.
you just think a minute, you'll. I think you know about this already. If you think about it, you'll know what it is. New edition.
New edition.
New edition. No, I'm not talking about the rock band. Is New Edition a rock band? No. Right.
Actually,
Yeah.
Kenny Rogers was with an early band called
He
Kenny
was.
Rogers in the First Edition.
Is that what it was called?
First
because
edition.
I saw.
There was an R&B group called New Edition, but you're saying
Probably
New
is.
Addition.
Yeah, I know.
Edition.
It just sounded like it.
New
but-
Edition.
It's funny you brought up the Kenny Rogers
Oh, yeah,
thing.
New Edition. Of course I know now.
What is it?
You got another dog.
There you go. That's where I was.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Rogers, you brought that up a couple weeks ago. I know you don't have this, Mike, on your phone, an app called SoundHound.
Do not.
Brett and I have SoundHound. Lanny may even have SoundHound. What you can do with SoundHound is, if a song comes on, you don't know who it is, you can punch it. It'll tell you everything about it. It'll just let it listen to the song for about 10 seconds or so. Pops up all the information. Who, when, album, year, all that kind of stuff. You'd love it.
Well, thank you. I'll
Here you go, Mike.
go to the App Store and get that one.
It's free.
Hey.
So he might get
The
this
most
one, right?
beautiful one-syllable word in the English language.
I'm not going to go where the two-syllable word with what it may be.
No.
Yes, it is a free app, and for some reason I heard this, and I said that on my radio. I said, it sounds like Kenny Rogers singing, but I can't believe that he'd be singing in this kind of music.
Well,
And I
early on,
clicked it, and it was him.
It was
him.
They did a song called "I Just Dropped In to See What Condition
That's
My
it.
Condition."
That's exactly
was
the
in."
song
It's
that
sort
was
of
playing.
a trippy drug song.
Yeah, you know what movie that song's
yeah.
featured in?
What?
Big Lebowski.
Yeah. The
Well,
Big
there you
Lebowski.
go.
See, I remember that. I've watched it more recently than you guys have.
Yep, I didn't know it was in that one.
But I would have never.
What
I'd have never guessed.
Yeah,
That was Kenny Rogers.
completely different.
Yeah. Oh, look, he had a rocker look because
Yeah.
it showed a little bit of him in
yeah.
a video playing
Yeah.
with the band. That's,
Yeah. Their stuff was part of that whole,
I hate I didn't use that for the music trivia.
part of
this
that whole
morning, but
psychedelic rock thing.
Who was the
from
lead singer
60s,
of?
yeah.
You said First
Edition?
Edition.
Kenny
That would have been a
Rogers in
good
the
one.
First
Yeah.
Edition.
But I do have a trivia question for you guys this morning. A good music trivia question,
Oh,
and we'll get
good.
to that in a little
Good.
bit. But we got a lot to catch up on. Taking a Saturday off last week, and the NCAA tournament had wrapped up. Neither Duke or Carolina fans wound up being happy
Yep.
after the NCAA tournament. But Kansas, you got to give credit to Kansas for what they did, winning the national championship. I never thought a team down 15 at halftime in the NCAA tournament game would ever be able to come back and win, but they did. They really
Well, that was the first
played.
time
Yeah, well,
with that kind of deficit.
yeah.
Championship game.
And they say it's the first time for everything, right?
Yeah.
It had happened. They were actually 16 down, and that's what set the record. They were 16 down in the first half, but it was 15.
Ended
at
up
the
being
break.
15 at the half.
Yeah, somebody else
45-30.
had come back from 15 down, and it was like way back, and it was like a smaller, like a Texas Western or somebody like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's who it was, but it
Yeah.
was somebody like that had done that. But, Kansas, what I was going to say about them, it's amazing to me in their storied history that's just their fourth title.
I know.
And I knew it was.
When was
I knew
their
it was.
first win?
Oh, my
Because
gosh. Well,
I know Larry Brown in
Yeah.
'88 and Danny Manning and the Miracles. I know Bill Self won in, was it 07 or 08? I can't remember.
well, Self is the first coach to win, too.
I know.
You know?
It can't-
Yeah, I think the other one
Kansas.
was in the 50s.
Their other was in the 50s.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. With that history, they won more games than anybody
Yeah.
else in college basketball. More
Have they, or is it Kentucky? I was
No,
thinking
it's Kansas.
It's Kansas.
Is it? Okay.
Fog Allen Fieldhouse, all that, and it is surprising that this was only their fourth.
But honestly, if you think about it, with the exception of Carolina winning back in '57, some of the powerhouse programs really didn't start winning their titles until later on.
Well, Duke didn't win its first till '91.
'91,
we know that.
Carolina really hit the board in '82 when they won theirs.
Well, of course, they did win in '57 with Frank McGuire.
But that's a big gap.
It is.
So that doesn't make you really the dynasty or the powerhouse or whatever because of such a big gap. But now the gap hasn't been anywhere near that big for them, or for Duke, or for Kansas now, for that matter. So if Self won, what year did he win his first one? That's my question.
08.
Was it 08?
08, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they beat
Memphis. John Calipari's Memphis team.
Do you remember the other two teams in the Final Four that year? Because I'm kind of
Kansas beat Carolina in the semifinal.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember who Memphis beat.
Okay.
I don't either.
Probably somebody that
I could look it up.
that we've heard of. I mean, when I say heard of, I mean a prominent program.
Yeah, I don't think it was George Mason, mid-major.
I don't know what year I can't remember what year George Mason did all that either and made.
Yeah.
UCLA.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty prominent program.
Yeah.
There, so. But yeah, that's great for Bill Self. I like him. I think he's a class act. It's good to see him win multiple titles. Does it take him one more to get put in that elite status?
I think when you win two, you're kind of there.
Do you?
I do.
Because there's a lot of people that's won two compared to what's
really?
Well, I think compared to the number of people that have won three or more. Can you name the people that have won three or more? I'm gonna pull
Bobby
up
Knight, Krzyzewski, Roy Williams.
Roy has won three.
Wooden.
Oh yeah, John Wooden, of course. Boy, is John Calhoun won three?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
Jim has.
Yeah, Jim Calhoun. Yeah, and that '99 one is one.
Yes,
Boy.
that stings with the
Duke
fans.
Dukies.
Yeah.
Wow, outside of that, I'm struggling.
All right, you named. What is
Adolph Rupp. Adolf Rupp.
Did he?
Kentucky.
Yeah,
Did he win three?
Yeah, he did. No,
The Kentucky
he
gentleman.
won four. He won four. Adolph Rupp
The Baron of Kentucky. Yeah.
won four. This thing's messing me up. I'm trying to. It says 12 more rows. You click on 12 more rows, and it takes you to a whole different website. And that's not what I want. But Wooden, of course, leads away with 10. Krzyzewski has 5.
Yeah.
Rupp 4. Roy Williams 3. And on those 12 more rows, I don't know how I'm gonna get them to pull up here.
Well, I don't think outside of Calhoun and Knight, that.
Wow. Here's people that's been there a lot.
Jay Wright has won
2.
2.
Yeah, Bobby Knight won all 3 of his in a 12 year span.
Yeah.
12 season
76,
span.
81, and was it 87?
Bingo, you got them all.
Yeah.
Went to the Final Four in '92. I don't recall. That
You know who beat him, right?
Was
Duke
Duke
beat him.
Okay, was that when Duke? I know Duke won it, but I didn't know how the setup was. I didn't know who the matchups
The
were.
Hoosiers in the semis.
Yeah, Jim Calhoun with 3. It's just a small group, and that's why I just wanted to ask: are they elite? Because
So you got to win 3 to be truly elite. If that's your criteria.
I think, well, obviously,
No,
it puts you in a bracket all your
Bill
own.
Self in that
Yeah, I do
in
too.
that group.
Well, because let me tell you
Look
why
how
I
much
would.
he's won at Kansas.
Let me
How
tell
many
you
Big
why
12 titles?
I would put him in that group
I would
because
too.
I'm going to see if you recall these elite coaches. Dean Smith,
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Dean won 2.
absolutely in elite status.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where did I see the other one? I wanted to Denny Crum.
Yeah.
You know,
80 and 82.
You know, Denny Crum gets forgotten about a lot. I
Yeah.
think when you're talking about coaches.
And Denny won in 80, and then, of course, he beat the Dukies in, was it 86?
And went to the Final Four in 15 years. He went to the Final Four 6 times.
Oh, yeah, he was a frequent.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Would you, let me ask you this, guys. Would you put, even though he's been to the Final Four often, would you put Tom Izzo with only 1 title and that elite.
It's hard.
Status.
It's hard. It really, and you know, I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his.
too.
And I think
I pull for them when he gets knocked out.
Izzo is a better coach than Bill Self.
Never has the talent,
But
he never
no, he
had-
doesn't.
he doesn't have that kind of talent.
You look at the people.
But that's a big part of it.
yeah, yeah.
Is there something about Michigan State that you can't get the elite
You
players,
know what?
or does he
Yeah.
not go after the elite players?
That could be part of his strategy.
Because Bill Self goes after the elite.
Well, you know, they're known for recruiting. Michigan State is for their area. They get a lot
Yeah.
of players from East Lansing and whatever
Detroit.
the other. Yeah, well, not as many from Detroit because Michigan's so close to Detroit, but they
Yeah.
do get some.
Well, there's enough
Yeah,
good players in that
yeah,
area.
But what's the other place I'm trying to think of? There's another little town up in there that they really draw from a lot. But he likes the blue collar, hard working, stay 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but he's not going to send talent out there like North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, those kind of elite
He
players.
seldom gets the one and done.
Go back and look. You probably go back and look at their recruiting history, and he don't get many 5 stars. I wouldn't think, you know, to come up there in East Lansing, Michigan to play.
And that's why I like him too, because he recruits his kind of player and he makes them relevant on the national scene.
And just a class act too, and can take things with, you know, a lot of humor. Flint. Thank you, Lenny.
Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, the Flint
Yeah.
Stones is what he said. That's exactly who I was trying to think of.
Mhm.
The city I was trying to think of, Flint, Michigan. I was even going to give you guys a hint, or what I recalled, and say they had the big water issue.
Yeah.
Lead in the water.
Yes.
They've had more
Yeah.
issues than that. Crime,
Yeah.
major
Yeah.
crime.
Right,
issues.
right. And you know what? I think he recruits that area to try and get some of those guys out of that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's if he's doing it for that reason, that's
Mhm.
you know, that's a big
Well, here's
feather in his cap. I got more. too.
here's a question.
Well, Calipari's only won one, right?
I think so.
If you were, say Duke wasn't hiring John Shire as their next coach, and they had these 3 options from outside, Izzo, Bill Self, and Jay Wright, which one would you want?
My heart would say.
Say you were
Izzo.
giving one a 10-year deal.
My
or,
heart would
you know,
say Izzo, but
7-year
my
deal.
head would say Jay Wright.
I would have to say Jay Wright.
And I like Bill Self a lot. I do like Bill Self
Well,
a lot.
he'd
but
get Duke and NCAA.
he don't quite have the track record, honestly, as Jay Wright.
Yeah, well, he's. Yeah, I agree. Self is a great coach, but you know it's things that.
Who you
that
taking
don't
out of
own-
those 3, Lenny? So we'll see what Lenny. Who you taking out of those 3? He said Bill Self, Jay Wright, and Tom Izzo. And you know, Brett knows my favorite there in that group is Izzo because I've always liked him.
Yeah.
If he's being interviewed, and I know it's going to happen because he's on Dan Patrick quite a bit, I make it a point to watch and listen to him. But
You couldn't go wrong with either 3, really, as far as
I wouldn't think so.
guiding your
Wouldn't
program.
think so.
I just think Self might get Duke in NCAA trouble or something.
Will he be looking for another job if Kansas goes into? And if Kansas is getting ready to get some sanctions, we
Yeah,
think, you know, but
something.
And
but
I don't know how bad, but hopefully for him and his program, it's not more than 1 year. As far if they even get banned from a tournament, it might have just to do with recruits.
I don't think
You don't want to
they-
keep Kansas out of the.
No,
Yeah,
they
people
won't.
We want to see it anyway.
Yeah, they won't keep Kansas out of the NCAA. So it'll be something, but it won't be enough. It'll be a hiccup, probably.
You need to know this: those with 2 titles, I'm seeing a few of them here now. Billy Donovan,
Oh yeah,
back to back.
back to back.
I don't know how many years Donovan was in as a head coach, but you know he coached Providence, wasn't
Providence.
it, before he went to Florida.
Yeah.
Roger says without a doubt Bill Self. He would be my 3rd on the list, Roger.
too.
But you know, I mean, it's like we talked about earlier. You can't go wrong with
No, either
with
one- either of the 3.
with any of the 3. Lenny says Jay Wright fits Duke culture better.
He
Private
does.
I think
school.
so.
He does.
Yeah, that may be the truth.
That's
there.
what I was thinking. Great coach, won 2 titles, plus fits Duke's culture.
You guys want to name some more that's won 2? You was right about Calipari. He's only won 1, but there's a few names on here we hadn't mentioned yet
Really?
that have won 2. Yes,
Ooh.
yes. One of them very prominent guy.
Oh.
Here's another one that's not so much because it's the only reason for this next one is it's back in the day a little ways.
I see. But the one you say that's very prominent, we should know.
Sure, you should.
Two,
I'll put it this way: he's made his rounds. Does that help you?
Rounds.
He's made his rounds. Yes, and I mean universal rounds. That ought to help you a little bit.
Well, Larry Brown's only won one.
Okay, it's not him. If you know he's only won one, you didn't need to mention him.
That's right. But you said he's made his rounds, and Brown definitely has made his rounds.
And don't forget, I said worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yep.
Rick Pitino.
Bingo.
Oh, yeah.
Patino won two, and weren't they with two different? Wasn't one
Louisville and Kentucky?
Yeah,
Yep.
one Louisville, one with Kentucky. How about that?
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that would.
It's like winning one at Duke and
You're
Carolina.
right, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very similar to that.
I don't think that rivalry is as nationwide known.
No, it's not.
It's
not only
more of a
that,
local.
It is.
local kind of thing.
There have been years and gaps where they didn't play each other. Is that not right?
I don't
In the
know.
Season.
Yeah. Lenny got it, even though he said Pitt. No, yeah, I think I know what he meant there.
Who is now? Is he still at Iona? He was.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think that's what I said. He's made his rounds. He's been a little bit everywhere, even the NBA.
What other famous coach got his start at Iona?
Jimmy.
Yep.
Jimmy V.
Jimmy V.
All right, you did not name.
And he only won one of NC State's
Only
titles,
one.
right? Who was their
Right.
other coach?
Norm Sloan.
That's right.
Back in
Stormin'
the
Norm
70s,
Sloan.
who later went to Florida and just really never made it happen.
Yeah.
At
But
the
he made a
University of
mistake.
Florida.
He left state at the very height of his powers and
Did John Thompson win
won.
Just one.
one title?
Mhm.
Just one.
Yeah.
Beat Houston, didn't he?
Yeah.
Houston got there
And that was
three
with
years
what?
in a row and didn't win it.
With
know.
what great player was on that Georgetown team?
Ewing.
Patrick Ewing did win it. Okay.
He
Yep.
did win one.
Lost to Carolina in 82, and then they won it in
He lost,
83,
he
84.
lost to Villanova.
They did
in
lose to
85.
Villanova in 85. He
Was that a Patrick Ewing team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Villanova, I thought it
yeah.
was.
Yep. That was his span. So,
That's
so
when,
when they lost to Carolina, he was a freshman.
Ewing stayed all 4 years, by the way.
Did he?
Hmm.
Yeah. He had to. If that was a Patrick.
Because they had more great teams after that.
All right, we're going to
They
go back
just-
to
they just didn't win it.
to the two-time winners. One of them we've mentioned him this morning, but you didn't. I don't think you guys actually threw him into that category as winning too. And we've mentioned him a lot here this morning. Mr. GQ himself.
Jay Wright.
Yep.
Yeah,
Jay
Jay
Wright has
Wright.
won two.
Yeah.
Been to Final four times and won two
Mhm.
national titles. If you get the next two of these on the list, then you are unless you
And
look it
I-
up.
I'm a
If you-
scholar
if
and a
you look-
gentleman.
if you look it
if I
up,
get the next two.
I would have never got them. That's your hint. I would
these
have- I would have
are in-
never gotten them.
These are in bygone times,
Yep.
right?
Yep. One was the head coach at Cincinnati. You know, that was back in
Ed Junker.
Juker. Yep. No N in it, but
Okay.
but you're being that close is awesome. You knew who it was.
Yeah. Give me my
61 and
star for
62.
the
That's
day.
with the big O, right?
The big O.
You know who the big O is? Brett. Oscar
Did San
Roberts.
Francisco win?
Yeah, they
Two
did.
titles?
You were right on it.
Right on it.
They won in 55 and
Bill
56.
Russell. Bill Russell.
Yeah. Who was the coach?
Yeah, right. That's the question.
Yeah. No
Oh,
idea.
wow.
I just thought they won two.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the coach. I have no idea.
Two-time national champ, San Francisco. They went to the Final Four in 55, 56, and 57. And that was with who? Russell?
Bill
3 years?
Russell.
All 3 years he was there?
Yep.
Let's see who can name the coach of that one. Lenny said Ed Juker on the previous question.
Yeah.
But does anybody know the San Francisco coach?
Wasn't Red Auerbach.
I'll leave it out there for just a couple minutes.
Who
Like
was
I
San
said,
Francisco
never
coach?
heard. I'm probably read this name before, but never heard the name. You know what I mean? Never
Bill
heard the name.
Williams.
Bill Williams. I've heard that name. I shouldn't say I've never heard it because in some talk at some point. You also got Indiana back in the 40s and 50s with a coach that won 2 national titles. Mike probably can pull that one
Did
out of
Hank
his hat.
Iba, Henry Iba win any titles at Oklahoma State?
Yes.
Thought he
See,
did.
that's another one that we really haven't missed yet. He won in 45 and 46. Henry Iba.
Henry Iba. Oklahoma State or
Yep,
Oklahoma
yep.
A&M. or
Went
something
4
like that.
times. Won it in 45, 46. Went to the Final Four in 49 and in 51.
Yeah.
But was not as successful at those.
That's Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma
has
State.
2 basketball titles.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
That's a good trivia question too, right?
Yeah. They would
If
have
you just
thought.
ask how many do they have. Eddie
Yeah,
Sutton
I would
also
have
took
guessed
them.
0.
Eddie Sutton took. Now Eddie Sutton was at different places, Mike. So you have to help me here, because Eddie Sutton has been to the Final Four 3 times, and I think one of those with Oklahoma State.
He was there when Big Country, right?
Would that have been 04?
No,
Yeah.
90, 95,
94.
94.
I think. Well, maybe it is 95. I've lost his name here.
I think he took Arkansas to the Final
95.
Four as well.
95.
Yeah,
he
UCLA
coached
won
in
it that
Kentucky.
year.
In 78, he went to the Final Four. Who would that have been? Eddie Sutton, 78, Final Four, because that was Kentucky and Duke in the championship, right?
That's right.
And I don't remember who the other Final Four teams were, but
It was either okay. I don't know.
well, you mentioned Henry Iba, so that's really good that you got that one, because that takes care of one on the list. We're looking for the head coach of
San
San
Francisco.
Francisco in the 50s, wasn't it?
Yep. 55 and 6.
Bob Huggins been to the Final Four twice, no title.
Yeah.
Um,
With West Virginia and Cincy.
Mike, you should get, because I know this name, you should get the Indiana coach that won it in 40 and 53, because I know the name.
40 and 53.
Yeah.
A 13-year gap.
Yeah. He's doing math this morning.
78 Final Four had the other 2 teams were Arkansas and Notre Dame. So
Yeah.
he must have been at Arkansas.
Duke beat Digger Phelps and Notre Dame in the semis.
Yeah.
So
He said
Kentucky
Arkansas,
obviously beat
other
Arkansas.
was Notre Dame in 78, says Lenny.
Yeah,
Arkansas
Digger
and Notre
Phelps.
Dame
Yeah.
in 78. I'm gonna go ahead. Nobody's got this coach for San Francisco, so when I run across it
No.
again, I'm going to
I don't know.
I'm going to give you that one and tell you who it was. Let's see. We got to go back up here. Give me those years again for San Francisco.
55 and 6, I think.
55 and 56. I want to say, I can't even find it now. I want to say, here it is. Phil Woolpert. Woolpert. Phil Woolpert. Ever heard that?
I have not.
No.
That's what I'm saying. He may be the most obscure 2-time national title winner to ever coach.
Yeah, it doesn't
College basketball.
ring a bell.
Yeah, do not know his background really or anything. Says born in Danville, Kentucky. Woolpert was raised in Los Angeles. Let's see. Upon Pete Newell's departure from Michigan State, the University of San Francisco hired Woolpert to succeed Newell. I guess Newell went to Michigan State. It doesn't really explain that right there, why
Pete
Michigan
Newell,
State had anything to do with it.
Newell's at Princeton for years, too.
Was he?
I believe, yeah.
But
The
you know,
Princeton offense, they called it, was sort of a motion backdoor kind of thing.
I just thought that was a very, very odd thing that there was a name on there that had won 2 national titles that we wouldn't recognize, that just wouldn't recognize. I thought we would have recognized all of them. You know, I would like to know this: how many current college basketball coaches, you know, with the retiring of Roy Williams a year ago and Mike Krzyzewski this year, and that's 8. That's 8, and you know,
Yeah.
you think about that. How many head basketball coaches right now are there that have won a title? You know, current head coaches that have won a national title. Obviously, we've named a couple, and Jay Wright and
Calipari,
and
Bill
Patino.
Self, Patino.
Yep, but I bet you once you get
well,
away
how
from
about Ollie with UConn? Is he still coaching?
I don't know if he's coaching.
Kevin Ollie. Yeah, that one year where they won 10 straight or 12 straight, 11 straight games.
I don't know what he's doing now. I think he's got a department store. What's that?
Yeah, Ollie's Army out of Gastonia. Yeah.
You know, like you said, Larry. I'm going down the list. Larry Brown's won one. John Thompson won. Nolan Richardson's won a national title.
Yeah.
Joe B. Hall
40 minutes of hell.
with Kentucky. Fogg Allen
Fog Allen.
just won.
Just one.
Let's see, but very consistent program. Tark has won one in 1990. Fred Taylor, and I'm not talking about the running back. I don't think here won one in 1960
With Ohio State.
with Ohio State.
Guess who else was on that team?
You know, I always want to say the Big O, but he's a Cincinnati guy. So, what do you mean? Guess who else was on the team? I hadn't
Guess
even named
who,
the team.
guess who
member
was
yet.
a reserve on that team?
With Ohio State? A reserve
He
must be a
didn't play-
coach.
Didn't play much.
Must be a coach.
But he was on the team.
Must be a coach.
The general,
Okay, Robert Montgomery.
Robert Montgomery.
All right.
yeah.
Lenny says Rick Pitino took 3 teams to the Final Four: Providence, Kentucky, and Louisville.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Providence. I
Well,
forgot.
Providence is where he built his name. No doubt about
yeah,
that.
That's right.
Here's some head coaches
Had a guard named Ernie D. Gregorio.
still active that have won it. Scott Drew,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Baylor,
Tony Bennett.
Virginia.
Yep.
Yeah, you got Jim Boeheim.
Syracuse. Poor old Boeheim didn't win but one. You know,
Yeah.
do you throw him in elite status with one like we talked about Izzo?
What is he, second?
With the amount of wins
All
they've
time.
got, overall they have to be in elite
They
status.
do.
And I think Izzo earns it on the amount of Final Fours he's been
I
to.
agree.
you
And
know?
the number of wins, isn't he second to Krzyzewski? And total wins
I think so.
at the D1 level?
Izzo?
Yeah, over 1,000.
Yeah.
Izzo
They
is?
took away a bunch.
No, Boeheim.
Boeheim is, yes. But I was talking about Izzo.
Seemed like they
Bo-
took away
both
like
those guys deserve to
they
be.
took away over 100 of his wins for various violations.
That's about it for active coaches.
So it's just not that many. So, you know, I mean,
Tubby Smith, is he coaching somewhere?
That's a good question.
I don't think he is. I know he was at Minnesota a few years ago.
you know, I was thinking like I don't know, it's something else he got into. He is still coaching, and you should know where.
Minnesota. No, he left Minnesota.
Tubby is still coaching in the state of North Carolina.
My God.
Head coach in the state of North Carolina.
NCA&T, Winston-Salem State.
No, it's got to be bigger than that.
Well,
Smaller.
East Carolina?
Smaller.
Really?
Probably so.
private or public school?
Yes.
I
I think it's private.
Wow.
They've really, I guess they've had athletics now maybe 10, 15 years. Does that help any? High Point University. How about that?
Wow.
High Point University. Tubby
That's
Smith, 2018 to 22, and we couldn't even name it. He's been there 3 seasons.
But is that Division One?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they are.
Is it?
I think they are. Yeah. That's a good question.
That's probably his final stop on his,
How old's
coaching
Tubby?
It's probably got to be.
How old are you, Mike? Don't want to mention it.
Not really. Let's just say I look younger than my years. Leave
Go
it
ahead.
at that.
Tubby's 70. Born June the 30th, 1951.
I thought he was close.
Did you know he was born in Scotland?
Wow.
Didn't? Yep, he was born in Scotland, Maryland
Ah.
in 1951. That'd be great to tell people your whole life he was born in Scotland, wouldn't it? Has coached at a lot of places, and as a head coach, been a head coach at how many of you? I gave you one. How many places can you tell me that Tubby has been the head coach? And High Point stopped number 7 as a head coach.
Oh,
Not counting head coach at high schools, 2 high schools.
well, of
Hope
course,
County. He was a head coach at Hope County High School.
well, of course, Kentucky, then Minnesota. Oh,
Um,
wow. I can't come close to naming all this.
That's 2 of them, but you missed the first 2,
I bet.
and you missed the last, and of course, then there's 3 after that. You know, Brett, where else he was head coach? I bet.
All I knew for
Lenny or
sure was
somebody
Kentucky and Minnesota.
Can throw a couple of those out there. Yeah, Kentucky, Minnesota. I'm going to go ahead and throw them out there. His first head coaching job was 91 to 95 at Tulsa.
Okay.
And then we're going to take a quick time out. His second coaching job was at the University of Georgia for 3 seasons.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Then Kentucky, stayed in the conference, Georgia to Kentucky. Then Minnesota. Then Lubbock,
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, and the Blues. I didn't even remember that one.
The Blues.
Yeah, that's what they have there, the Blues.
Memphis?
Memphis.
You guys even remember him coaching at Memphis?
I don't.
Nope.
16 to 18?
He
Where was I then?
he has been around. All top, Division I
Must
programs.
have got fired at Memphis and then wound up now at High Point. So, is he from North Carolina originally? I mean, I see he was born in Maryland, but, you know, a lot of stops and, you know, a lot of things happening in North Carolina, like the Hoke County thing and things like that. I just wondered if
I would say this is probably his final. Well, you never know. I mean, but 4 years at High Point already.
18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 21, 22. That's 4 seasons, yeah.
What I want to know is who is the coach at Winthrop who did well there, then went to Wichita State, brought them into prominence, took them to the Final Four.
That was Greg Marshall.
Whatever happened to Greg Marshall?
Well, he got in trouble at Wichita.
Right.
He seemed like the biggest big time up and coming coach.
Yeah.
In a long time.
He, for years.
Lenny says 7 colleges there, and he's right.
Marshall hadn't coached since Wichita State got rid of him.
He's actually coached at more colleges than that has Tubby, but he's been the head coach at 7. He was also an assistant at Kentucky at one time, 89 through 91. He's assistant at South Carolina, and he was assistant at VCU. He was at South Carolina from 86 to 89. How about that? Hoke County High School, which I'm assuming that's the North Carolina Hoke County High School, from 77 to 79, and his first coaching job was high school in Great Mills High School, which was in Maryland. So I'm guessing he grew up in Maryland.
Yeah.
Since he was born there, he's probably born and raised in Maryland.
Well, he's been around almost as he's hopped around almost as much as Larry Brown, Mr. Suitcase. Yeah,
but Brown has, I mean, it's a little different because Brown's going to NBA. A lot of these coaches never went to the NBA. And
now, did Brown win an NBA title?
Yeah,
with Philadelphia, right?
I don't think it was
76ers.
I don't think it was Philadelphia. It was Detroit.
Detroit. Okay.
Yeah, Detroit.
And when he won in
early
Detroit,
2000s.
that had to be that was after Daly.
Yeah, they beat the Lakers. It was Richard Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince.
That's a good team.
Those are starting 5.
That's we'll take a timeout. Lenny says he got replaced mid-season at Memphis and was replaced by
Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway, still there today. Got that program actually looks like on the right track. Let's take a timeout. We appreciate you tuning into Sports Talk. Back with more in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things. like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
Welcome back. Sports Talk, 8 to 10, just about every Saturday morning. Just about every Saturday morning. You know,
consistently.
That's right. Here and there.
Here and there.
It was actually great how it worked out last week, because Mike was going out of town and I went out. It worked out because I had something to do too.
Right.
And so it's good whenever
And I finally got to play my early morning basketball.
Saturday morning,
First
6
time in a
a.m.
few
basketball. Yep. Let's see. Lenny says that Billy Donovan was the star guard on that 87 Patino team that went to the Final Four, and that was at Providence, right? Yeah, that was at Providence. Right. And, yeah, Donovan still coaching?
The Bulls.
The Bulls. I figured he was still coaching because built a good reputation.
Yeah, he went to Oklahoma City for a while, and then he left there and went to Chicago.
He went to Oklahoma City after Florida, right?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Is he the personality that you could see going back to college at some point in time and coaching?
I think he could.
You know, I do. I mean, I mean, just first thought is I do, because you know, you get back and you've got 2 national titles under your belt. That's a recruiting tool.
It is.
I don't know what schools there are out there that would pay him the money that he would
have
demand.
to have.
Yeah, and I don't know what he's making, where he's at, but I'm sure it's not too shabby.
Yeah.
For sure. But you know, and you guys all know you can all the prominent college basketball teams, you can name the head coach. All the NBA teams, you probably can't name a third of them. You know, Brett probably can. He follows it much more closely, but they're just not on the spotlight. Like the college coaches are.
Well, in the NBA, and Brett would probably agree with this, usually the players of it.
Sure.
Obviously, the stars.
Well, NFL's same. College football coaches are more well-known than – even though NFL, I think, are more popular than NBA coaches. And baseball managers, you can't name –
Oh, no.
Can you name 5?
I could.
Can you name 5 baseball managers and what teams they belong to?
Yeah.
Go for it, Brett.
Dave Roberts.
Dodgers.
He knows that one.
Yeah. Aaron Boone.
Boone.
Yankees.
Yeah. Well, I knew you'd know that. Sullivan must talk.
I don't even know who Boston's head coach is.
Well, it's the guy came back, Joey
Cora.
Alex
Cora.
Alex Cora.
Alex right?
Cora. Why did I say
Joey's his brother?
Yep. Alex Cora.
Brian Snicker, Braves.
I think. Yeah.
But you know, guys, that wasn't always true. If you go back.
Who's the Astros? Is it Dusty Baker still? Or is
surely.
See, I mean, you have to ask the question.
Yeah,
because
they're. Who's the Giants manager? It's a.
I don't know.
I can picture him, but I don't know his name.
Well, after Bruce Bochy, nothing matters to
Well,
me.
I know Joe Madden's with the Angels.
Okay.
He walked Corey Seager with the bases loaded last night. Intentionally
really?
walked him.
Did he really? What was the score and how many outs when he did that?
I don't know all
Has
that.
Seager been that hot?
I don't think he's been that hot.
Was the pitcher on deck? He don't
Yeah.
bat eighth, does he? Surely he
The
don't
pitchers
bat
don't
eighth.
even bat.
That's right. They don't bat anymore. Got to get that in my head. We got DH.
They wouldn't have batted in that game anyway, but they don't bat.
Let me ask this question. Well, I just want to ask you guys, and anybody wants to weigh in, obviously. If you could change one rule, and Lenny says Dusty is still at Houston. If you could change one thing in Major League Baseball, one rule, whatever, it don't have to be a rule, what would it be? Because I've got mine. And I know Brett knows, Brett
in
knows
your
what mine
case,
is.
it's the DH.
No,
No?
it's not. That doesn't really affect me one way or the other.
Well, I know what you want.
I would.
You want an electronic strike zone.
I do. I want consistency, and we don't see it. We do not see consistency on strike calls, and I think some teams get favoritism. My team may even be one of them.
Yeah.
Because I think the richer teams get a little favoritism. And I don't know why, but
It's just
I'd like to see electronic strike zone, and then just
so you would totally remove the human element from that.
no. He would still make the call from behind the plate because he would either get a ding in his ear or nothing.
Okay.
A ding would be a strike.
A ding.
And he's just got a signal strike. And then nobody would even needs to know it's electronic. You know what I'm saying? Do it in a way that nobody knows. I mean, everybody's going to. I think it'll become big news. But you don't even have to acknowledge that it's electronic because the umpire's still going to give the signal from behind the plate. And he's still back there to
why
call
would we
fair,
have to have a body behind the
fair and foul balls,
Okay.
all kind of stuff. Plays at the
Home
plate.
plays at the
Yeah.
plate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it would, and you know what? Umpires would be disappointed for a while, but man, it's taking a lot of stress off of you.
Yeah.
You know, taking a lot of stress off of you to get those.
Someone might lose their job.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why?
You eliminate.
Why would they lose their job? You still got to have a guy back there.
No, that's true.
You know, I mean, why would it? But you'd still have a whole lot more action than a guy umpiring third base.
It gets nothing.
Yeah,
one or two plays a game.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I guarantee you there's some plays they don't have to call anything.
I
You know,
believe it.
I'll be a third base umpire all day. Give it
Yeah.
to me. You know, write me the check. And
Or a
put me at
volleyball
third.
umpire. The one that stands up,
Points.
the net.
Yeah.
Al Graves. That's what I was
Oh
He
man,
loves
are you
those.
cracking on Al this morning?
No.
Before we get rolling into the baseball and that kind of thing and what's going on in the NBA, Brett can give us a good update on what's going on in the NBA. We got to say hello to our good friend Butch Parker.
Yes, we do.
Who's going through some health issues right now at this time. I doubt he's listening this morning, but if he is listening, we'll just tell him how much we miss him and are hoping and praying for him for a speedy recovery. We want to see him back at the breakfast table. We want to see him back at maiden athletic events and back running the CVAC. And
we hope that he will be.
Yep. Word is he's at Baptist right now, and will be moving to a rehab facility. Closer to home.
Yeah, probably Catawba, somewhere in this area. Yeah.
So, wishing him the best, that's for sure, and letting him know that we have been thinking about him the entire time.
Great personality,
during
tells
this
stories better than anybody I know, and just love being around him and his dedication to what he does as well.
Welcome back, Cotter. There's your hint for the manager for the Giants. It's about as good as I can get you. Welcome back, Cotter. What was his name? What was Cotter's real name? And I may even have this wrong. I hope I don't.
Welcome back.
You know that show, Brett? You ever heard of it? Welcome
I've
back,
heard
Cotter?
of it.
I just remember John Travolta being on it.
Yep. You don't remember who the teacher was?
I don't remember the teacher.
The guy with the wild hair.
Wild hair guy, yeah.
Yep.
Ooh. Was Mr. Cotter, obviously. No?
I don't want his character name. I want the actor name.
Oh, the actor's name.
Yeah, I want the actor name.
Oh.
Have you found it yet, Brett? The actor's name for Welcome Back, Cotter?
No, I'm looking for the Giants coach.
You're just going
straight for it.
That's
baby.
right, straight to it.
Straight to it.
Am I right, Lenny, on that Welcome Back, Cotter name? Is that real close? to the name we're looking for. Maybe I'm totally off base there since nobody's saying anything here. I'm right on it because Don Revels texted me that welcome back Cotter was Gabe Kaplan.
Gabe Kaplan.
And the manager for the Giants is?
Gabe Kaplan. Something Kaplan. Gabe something. I don't
Kapler.
know.
Kapler, yeah.
Wow.
So is that not a pretty good hint? Come on, Mike. That's your team.
I know. I should know the manager of my own team. Gosh.
Gene Sarrazin, says Roger. I don't know that one. Lenny says, you are correct. Gabe Kaplan was welcome back Cotter, and now that's very close. One letter difference in the name, and Mike couldn't get his.
Well, okay, I'm going to start following. I mean, these first week or two, I'm just I hadn't connected yet.
Yep.
They were 4-2 last time I heard. They're probably 4-4 now. But
Brett, who's the famous actor that got his start on Welcome Back Cotter? You know that? I bet you know that. Bet you know that.
Well, Travolta, of course.
It was not Travolta.
Thank you, Brett.
Well, y'all just said his name.
Oh, did he?
30 seconds ago.
I missed it. I was reading. Sorry.
Just said his name.
Sorry. Horseshack was the best character on the show. The little guy that I can't remember what many of his lines and stuff. I just remember him being very funny on there. But that goes back to
okay, here's a real trivia question.
All right.
Can you name the singer-songwriter who was with a group in the 60s who sang the theme song, Welcome Back, Cotter? Whoa. Lanny's raising his hand.
Who is it?
John Sebastian.
You are correct, sir.
What was
John
the group?
Sebastian.
No, he was an individual. He was in a group.
The Loving Spoonful.
Roger says Sarrazin was on Cotter. I can't remember who Sarrazin was.
John Sebastian.
Of course, I don't know those actors' names anyway, except for Travolta, for being on that show. And I don't know. When you was a kid, it seemed like those shows were on forever. It probably didn't last about 3
years. Probably had a 3-year run.
If I had to guess, it's probably a 3-year run.
Well, the most iconic TV series of all time, which produced a whole culture of a whole culture, only ran 3 years. Star Trek. 66 to 69.
Is that right?
I believe it
Just
was.
3 years.
3 years.
And still really,
Yeah.
a lot of people still watch all the
How many
stuff
years
today.
for Gilligan's Island? It was only about 3 years.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yep. It still comes on at certain times.
Yeah.
Because I taped a few episodes the other day, and I don't remember what channel it was on, but it does still come on. All right, Brett, let's go to NBA first. The Pelicans beat the Clippers last night, 105-101, and that's a play-in game still, right? We still got play-in games going on?
That was it, yeah.
That was
That was the end of it.
Yep.
That was the last one, okay.
The last one.
And the Pelicans get in now. The Clippers finished 42-40, and the Pelicans 36-46, yet the Pelicans win this playoff game. And from what I understand, they had a big lead, then a comeback by the Clippers, and then Pelicans
New Orleans was up
again.
10 at halftime, and by the end of the third, the Clippers were up 10.
Wow.
But then New Orleans came back and won it in the end. Brandon Ingram scored 30.
Yeah.
The Clippers were without Paul George, who had tested positive for COVID, yesterday.
And you got to figure they win with him, right?
Probably.
And I can't imagine that. That's just.
But we will not see Zion Williamson for the Pelicans.
And what's the deal with him?
Does anybody? I don't know.
I don't know.
In hiding?
He was on the bench last night.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's an injury, right?
Well, he's still
Or
recovering
we don't
from. What did he have? A fracture in his leg or something?
Yeah.
At the end of last year.
How many games has he played as a pro since he entered the league? I mean,
idea.
Got on the court.
No idea.
Would you say it's been a disappointment?
Well, obviously.
Last year he played, or was it the year before? 1 year he played 60-something
That's right.
games.
That's right.
Did he?
He averaged
1
like
year.
25 points a game or something.
Yeah.
Why does the NBA play a play-in game? Okay, this says this is also play-in. Atlanta played Cleveland.
Yeah, that was it's like a elimination.
They take
thing.
the 7 through 10.
I thought Atlanta had already beat Charlotte.
They did.
And you
Yeah.
got to play another play-in?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a tournament.
tournament. It's
To
like
get-
a tournament.
To get how many
7 and
spots?
8 play.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
winner gets the 7 seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
9
tournament.
and 10 play. The winner of that plays the loser of 7 and 8
Right.
for the 8th seed.
Wow. You like that? One thing about it's elimination
it's fine.
games.
They are elimination.
They are
games.
elimination games, which should make it better.
Yeah, I like it.
Atlanta beat Cleveland 107 to 101
So
last
Cleveland
night. Trae
finished-
Young with 38.
Cleveland finished 7th.
Yeah.
Didn't get in.
Okay.
That's the only reason I don't like it.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Lenny says wasn't Travolta's character on the show Vinny Barbarina?
It was.
That's okay. I knew it was Vinny.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have got that last name.
Yeah, I knew the first one, but
Yeah, that's there's other people on there too. I bet you on that show that we would recognize if we saw them today. They're probably still going.
So on Tuesday, Brooklyn beat Cleveland. That got Brooklyn the 7 seed in the East.
All they had to do was win the one.
Minnesota beat the
game.
Clippers. That got them the 7 seed in the West. And then, last night, Atlanta beat Cleveland to get the 8 seed, and New
Yeah.
Orleans beat the Clippers to get the 8 seed in the West.
yeah.
Okay.
And then the playoffs start today with
So
4
Cleveland
games.
lost twice.
Yes.
Wow, double elimination, and they lost twice.
Double elimination
In their
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
since because they were a 7.
Yeah, the 9-10 loser,
Is out.
they're out
That's
if they
kinda-
lose
I like it.
once.
I like
Yeah.
it. I can
The
get
7-8
that.
loser gets another
Gets
chance.
another shot. Okay.
You know, one thing I think about that is a lot of times you may not make the playoffs, but you were maybe a more deserved. What if the 7 seed? Here's one reason I like it. 7 seed, say they got a key injury, and which I'm not even talking about a Paul George type thing, but if you got a key injury and you haven't been quite as good, but yet you still made the playoffs, even though you'd lost your last 6 games, at least in a case like this, somebody might beat them and knock them out, and it would be more even for the team that's fully healthy
Yeah.
to get in at the last minute. I'm not saying that's fair. I like it, but it's not fair really because that team actually earned their way by finishing 7th. So
What do you
different sides.
What do you guys, Brad, think about the Hornets? They finished 44-38, which is a winning season, but they get blown out for the second straight year in the play-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean blown out.
They just
Right.
they don't
Like
play any
by 30?
defense.
Wasn't it like by 30 or so?
Yeah.
And I thought that what's his name said his sons could do anything.
Yeah.
Evidently
Anything but play defense.
anything but play defense. He forgot to put what is that, a AT&T
LaBella.
commercial?
Yeah.
Yep. So here's what Brett's talking about going on today. And you know what? Like it or not, I've always thought that opening weekend of the playoffs was one of the best in the NBA season. I just because all 8 teams play today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or not more, I guess it's more than 8. 16
Yeah,
games.
all eight series
Matchups,
start
yeah.
today or tomorrow.
Yep. I like opening weekend. And these are 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 7?
I think they're all 4 out
all
of 7.
4 out of 7?
Yeah.
Game 1 to me means a lot more if it's 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we'll have to just live with that. Utah at Dallas today at 1.
No Luka.
Really? What's going on there?
Calf injury.
Yeah.
Out for the
I
whole
saw him
series?
run
No.
off the
Ruled
court.
out for game 1.
For game 1.
Yeah, still, I think day to day.
They're not near as fun to watch without
No.
him.
No.
Luka's the star in Dallas. Who's the star in Utah?
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Now help me because I remember him playing his college ball.
Louisville.
Okay. He was really good, but a one and done, right?
Yeah.
I think he was 1 and done.
Let's see. Moving on down the list. I'm getting a really good thing about umpiring third base here. I'll have to read to you in a minute. Minnesota, Memphis. Okay, Brett, who's our stars here?
Ja Morant.
Yep.
Ja Morant for the Grizzlies.
And Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards.
Minnesota, don't they get hammered all the time for just – here they are in the playoffs, but it seems like I've had the worst success of a NBA franchise since they've come in the league and always losing their best players.
Yeah,
things like that.
they were pretty good when Garnett was there. You know, never made it to the finals or anything, but they.
Who was the guy that came in though? Was it Kevin Love that was gonna save the day and all that kind of stuff?
That's right.
He's probably been with 5 different teams since that. I'm guessing. So
he came out of UCLA, right? Love. Yeah.
And I don't know if he went straight to Minnesota. Didn't he get drafted by Minnesota? Brett?
Yeah, I think he's only been with Minnesota and Cleveland.
Okay. Toronto at Philadelphia. Let's see. Embiid,
of course.
Who's my Toronto guy here?
Ooh, I'm struggling.
Siakam, Pascal Siakam.
Fred
VanVleet.
I'll take your word for it.
Of course. What remnants do they have left?
He's got to have shirts made. Fred VanVleet.
Got to.
That's a great name.
Yeah, VanVleet.
Vleet, okay.
Vleet, yeah. He came out of Wichita State.
Not Fleet Feet. Toronto, Philadelphia tonight at 6 o'clock ESPN. The ABC game tonight, late, 8:30, Golden State hosting the Denver Nuggets. Now, is everybody healthy here?
Curry is coming back from injury. Said he's probably be on a minutes restriction.
Yeah,
I think. But yeah, I think he'll. It might take him a game or two to get back going, but
well, this is my
should
team,
be fine.
And they're 53-29, and Curry hadn't played some, and they who else was out?
Draymond missed a lot of time.
If this team,
Klay Thompson, they kind of had to work back in.
If all these 3 guys can stay healthy in the playoffs, I think they'll be a threat.
Who's Denver's top guys?
Well, Jokic.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic is their best player.
Okay.
Still don't have Jamal Murray. He tore his ACL last year around the playoffs. I think it was ACL.
And still not back.
A
year later?
Haven't played all year.
Wow.
David, I know you're looking at it, but maybe our astute listeners, which of those 4 games has the highest ticket prices, starting ticket prices?
Yeah, well, you can just go with cost of living.
Yeah.
And what
got to be Golden State.
Golden State, baby, starts at 141.
Well, okay, let me ask Brett then, because I don't even remember after looking. What are these 2 seeds?
Denver and Golden State, I think, are 6 and 3.
Okay, because 1 and 8 is probably not going to be your higher ticket price, right? You would think.
No, but in the East, I think 2 and 7 is your best matchup. Brooklyn and Boston.
Okay. I'm sure Boston will get beat out. That's somehow, some way.
That's a pretty good ticket price.
Lenny says Donovan Mitchell actually stayed at Louisville 2 years before he departed for the NBA. Let's look at the Sunday matchup. Sunday gets underway at high noon on TNT. Atlanta and Miami. No idea about this one. I just know Miami's been pretty stout. Yeah. Okay. That's the one in the what winds up being the 8.
Yeah.
Right. 1 in the 8 with Atlanta and Miami. Brooklyn and Boston. Why is that the best matchup?
Well, it's just the most star players. Okay. Boston's got the best defense in the NBA.
Do they?
Brooklyn's got 2 of the best scorers in the NBA.
In the NBA, does defense stop good scorers or no?
No, usually not.
Usually not.
No.
But Boston can score too. I mean, you got 2 great scorers there.
Tatum
and Brown.
Chicago, Milwaukee. This has maybe the billing is the closest of 2 teams playing each other.
Yeah, geographically.
Yeah, because I'm just
Chicago started out great, but I think they were just mostly beaten up on bad teams, and they hadn't played great against good teams.
Although it would be interesting to know, and here you go, Don Revels. Is it closer from Chicago to Milwaukee or from Toronto to Philadelphia?
This is tricky.
I think Chicago and Milwaukee is still just a little bit closer, but I'm not 100% on that one. Also on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, the Pelicans, who sneaked in with 10 games under 500, will play Phoenix. So this has got to be 2-7.
This is 1-8.
Okay,
yeah,
1-8. Phoenix is the one. Yep. The only reason I got confused there, you said Miami was the one, but that's in the East. That's in the East.
Phoenix is number 1 in the West.
Yep. Star power here.
Well, Chris Paul and Devin Booker are the 2 stars for Phoenix.
How old is Chris Paul now?
I think he's about 35.
Yeah.
Some of those commercials, he looks
still getting it done.
65.
That's my pick to win it if he stays healthy. Yeah.
Has he won an
That's my
NBA
pick.
title?
No, he hasn't.
That's what I thought.
Nope.
I thought.
Yeah, we spent all those.
Made it to the
wasted
finals
years.
last year.
Yeah.
Lost to Milwaukee.
Yep.
He spent all those wasted years with the Clippers, right? I mean, he was with them.
Well, they were good.
Yeah, they were good, but
They just choked a couple times.
Yeah.
West Forsyth High.
Yep.
Which I went past last Saturday. Went right past West Forsyth High last Saturday, and had no idea where it was. I just happened to, other than
Well, we've
being in
been there.
Forsyth County. Have we?
Yeah.
To
For
what?
high school basketball, a regional game.
Did we? Well, then
Yeah.
I should have known where it was. I didn't know who played when I went there.
I don't remember who was
okay.
playing.
I actually went by West Forsyth, Forbush, and Davie County.
And it was probably around
last week.
around the time he was in school.
Yeah.
But it wasn't them that we saw play.
Yep. That's okay. If that's your pick to win it all, you think Phoenix stays healthy, they're going to win it all. Who are they going to play?
Well, that's the
East.
thing. The East is so tough this year. That's why I think the team that comes out of the West is going to win it, because of what the Eastern team is going to have to go through. Yeah. I would say a rematch, Phoenix and Milwaukee.
Okay.
Phoenix and Milwaukee.
But the East really has 6 teams, I think, that could get there.
Now, last year, was that played without fans, the finals?
Good question.
Or was it 2 years ago?
Now, 2 years ago was in the bubble in Orlando.
And that was
Yeah.
Miami and
The Lakers.
I think there were fans last year. Was it-
Yeah, I don't know if it was full capacity.
Yeah,
but
probably
I think,
not full.
yeah. I mean,
Well, don't you think for interest level? I mean, I think the TV moguls are hoping that it'd be Phoenix versus Brooklyn.
I'd say Golden State and Brooklyn would be
Golden
the
State and
best.
Brooklyn
Golden
would be the
State's
best.
yeah
Would be the
probably a
best.
bigger draw.
TV ratings.
Yeah.
You got Curry,
Durant. Right.
East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah. That'd probably be the ideally
two of the bigger
best.
cities. Not going to have a LA team in it, I bet.
No. And what is your commentary on the Lakers season, Brett?
Oh, they were terrible.
Yeah.
Played no defense, no heart.
Yeah.
They just got to blow it up and start over.
Here's a trivia question I would not know the answer to. When's the last time the NBA playoffs began without a Los Angeles team? You know, in the playoffs. I mean, can you recall one recently when we didn't have the Clippers or the Lakers won? I mean, usually
Well,
it's
the
both.
Lakers went 4 years
without.
going.
So
I
you're
don't know
thinking
if
maybe the Clippers
I don't know if
might
they
have
were in
missed
it
one?
every year. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to read Richard's comment on up and third, but I'm gonna wait till we come back to do that because we're gonna get into baseball, the scores yesterday, and everything that's going on. One thing we want to mention: you have the nation's home run leader.
Yeah.
At one of our local
I
schools,
know.
and I said the nation's
Yeah, you
home
didn't
run
say
leader
the state.
at one of our schools. We'll talk about him a little bit, but I'm gonna give you your music trivia question
Go
here
ahead.
as we go to break, Mike. This one might get you a little bit because it's not in your wheelhouse.
Okay.
Jeffrey Osborne. You know Jeffrey Osborne?
Ozzy's son.
Really terrific, great. I thought you'd know who he was right off the bat. I think one of his big hits, One in a Million. Great soul singer. I bet Lanny remembers Jeffrey Osborne. Great soul singer back in the
60s?
On the Wings of Love. No, way later than that. 80s, Lanny?
80s.
80s, maybe even some 90s. Great soul singer.
I was grunged out in the 90s. So I don't
What
remember.
band did he leave to go on his own? Back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with department staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
Welcome back. Sports Talk. David, Mike, Brett. Saturday morning. I don't think it's raining right now.
No, it is checked. Actually, it's not.
Not raining, okay. And supposed to move out, I would think, no later than noon if everything, like they say. We did get an answer to the trivia question. Jeffrey Osborne, great soul singer, rhythm and blues singer, whatever you want to call it. Just a great voice. I mean, he could. And I didn't know this, but somehow I ran across it a while back. If I knew it, it was a long time ago I'd heard it. Lenny said he just heard this last week. Now I'm interested to know, where did you hear it? Why was it brought up, Lenny? But Lenny's got it. The great Jeffrey Osborne was a member of LTD. And we might can look at it. That stood for something, and it's not like the car. You know, what was the old Ford LTD?
Ford LTD, yeah.
Yep,
big sedan.
Oh, yeah, it's about as long as the building
yeah,
here.
Huge. We had one.
But what was it stood for something. Ford LTD stood for something. I mean, LTD, it was.
Limited. Yeah, limited.
Long two-door. That's what it stood for.
Ours was a four-door.
Yeah, they were all four doors. I think I doubt you saw an LTD that was two-door
they
because they were about 25 feet long. They were as big as some yachts. They used to call those big old
Yeah.
cars boats
Yeah.
back in the day. But
LTD was love,
Very
togetherness,
roomy.
and devotion.
that's in the band.
Yeah.
Is what the band stood for.
Yeah.
Love, togetherness, and devotion. So, but I'm guessing.
Formed in Greensboro. Do you know that?
Oh no, I did not. You know what? I bet they kind of went with LTD though from the car. Is the reason they used that.
I bet they did.
And then they went. Then they got
Made their own acronym up
right, right.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the commercial with the acronyms? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's Geico, where it's ASAP. There's just everything they say's got
Got an acronym to it.
every sentence that they use. Now Rodney says LTD stood for luxury trim decor.
Okay. Makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Never a Ford man like that.
Yeah, the guy's not a Ford man. So. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Luxury, trim, what was it, comfort?
Decor.
Decor. Yeah.
That
When's the last time you used the word decor?
this
Besides
morning.
today.
No, Mikey used it this morning, getting it. So Brett now tells me that LTD was formed in Greensboro, right?
Yep.
And some of the guys were from there.
don't
Jeffrey
know.
himself. I don't know where he's from.
Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence, Rhode Island. Did he play for Patino?
Yeah.
Back in the day. All right. Richard sends me a message, and we were talking about
Third base coaching.
and I wasn't saying there's no job to do at third base. I'm just saying that
It caught you on a
it is
generalization.
most likely the less activity than the other spots. But now you know what, he does put something here in here that makes me think that you could be busier at third base than second maybe. He said more than you think, third base umpires just don't stay at third. You rotate to outfield or rotate to second for plays.
Yeah.
And by the way, they tried the electronic strike zone with the Honey Hunters last year for the MLB trial. It was a disaster at times, calling pitches that were so bizarre, even though technically strikes were they're begging for real umpires. Let's see what else he says here. From what I've seen, definitely benefits the pitchers, and the MLB is looking for more action. An electronic strike zone is not the answer for more offense, I believe. Well, no, not if it's calling strikes out of the zone. It's definitely not the call.
That's right.
People don't realize there are probably 15 to 20 pitches that can be called a strike or a ball. I'd say yes, you're exactly right, if not more.
I've seen
in
more
a 9 inning game, 7 to 9 inning game.
bad
I would say
strike
there's more.
calls
Have you?
this year. I've seen more pitches out of the zone called strikes than in the zone called balls. So I think the hitters
And you
are the
think
ones
that's
getting
different?
robbed right
You
now.
think that's different from last year than what we normally
Well, I don't know if
see?
it's different from last year. That's just what I've noticed this year.
Okay. So the last part of his comment here says people don't realize there are probably 15 to 20 pitches, and he's talking about per game, that can be called a ball or a strike with justification every game. That's why the batter gets 3 chances instead of 1. The home plate umpire position is by far the hardest and most dangerous officiating job there is in all of sports. And yeah, it is, and that's why you see such variance. Everybody's a little bit different. There's no comparison to any other officiating job. Very small percentage of population can do it effectively. I can't even relate anything to it. I guess the other hardest thing to do as far as an official that I watch in anything is call charge and block the fouls in basketball, because the rest of basketball, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they get everything right, but the rest of it's kind of cut and dry. It's not in basketball. Baseball, I would say, yeah, the strike zone is probably the hardest thing definitely to do right in baseball. And you know what? Everybody has a different opinion of right. Every umpire, I have always liked the fact that I don't know that you should have to game plan because of an umpire. Do you? I mean, like who's the Joe West and people like that, and it seems like his is one of the tighter strike zones in all of Major League Baseball. And it's sad that a pitcher says, I'm going to have this guy behind the plate. I'm going to have to, my strike zone's got to condense 6 inches all the way around, 3 on each side, 12 inches basically is what that would be if it's height and width. Do you ever notice anybody that and I think this is natural. And I know I asked Rich this. I think it's natural that home plate umpires will call the outside corner way more than they call the inside corner. Mm-hmm. And I don't care which way you bat. I just think maybe you see it better or something like that but it seems like you get more outside strike, corners called on the outside.
And that's what I've seen a lot of this year.
Even off
pitches
of it,
off
right?
the plate
Yeah.
being called strikes.
Yep. The only reason I don't know what you can do to get consistency to where you don't game plan in the major leagues, for
for
an umpire. I don't think there's any game planning in basketball when you know who your officials are. You probably don't even know who your officials are, till you get there that night.
Right.
You should.
Football, you probably don't know who your officials are till you get there that night. Even though NFL football is a little different, they do a lot more publicity stuff. You may know who the crew is coming into your field for that particular game, but college basketball, I just bet in college basketball you don't know who your officials are going to be till it's game time. And
I would think football would matter the least.
Yeah, although they will tell you every year, they'll tell you when they get to the playoffs or so, this team had the most holding calls all year long.
Yeah,
and I do think it can change your game plan a little bit as an offensive lineman.
Yeah, you might know what you can get away with.
Yeah,
a little more with certain officials.
Yep. This crew had the least amount of holding calls all year, and the offensive lineman's thinking, good. This is what I want. I different things I can do that I maybe couldn't with Crew X over there.
But like with basketball officials, there's definitely some that allow more contact.
Oh yeah,
than
no
others.
question. We saw it in the tournament, almost every game. Or
I know NFL crews go together every single week of the season. It's a crew and they work together, and I like that because you get chemistry.
Yeah,
and
continuity,
where
consistency.
You
probably
know where everybody's going to be on certain things. I think baseball officials do too.
I don't know.
Am I right or wrong about that?
I don't know about that.
Because they always say the crew chief. You know who the chief is, and I that may just be for that series. I don't know, but I was thinking like they may stay together. Maybe Richard can answer that. I'm not 100% sure if they stay together or not. But I don't think college basketball is just all mixed up, isn't it?
I think so.
And I think college football is too. I think they just, I think it's all different as well. But I don't know. I don't know what you get. Richard says the electronic strike zone never takes into consideration the way the catcher catches the ball. And remember, the plate is 17 inches plus a ball width on each side. And that's definitely right, long as white touches black, and that's white baseball touching the black part of the plate. On each side, all levels, a little more for the lower levels of baseball. So Richard's, I think what he's saying there is they make it just a little bit tighter, the lower levels of minor leagues and maybe even college than they do. Which way do you favor, a way or the other? Do you want to see bigger strike zone or smaller strike zone, or just where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't lean one way or the other. Depends on who's batting.
It depends on who's batting, and if you're playing, it depends on if you're a pitcher or not. If you're a pitcher or not, you love today. You go out there and get that pitcher's umpire that's got that wide strike zone. I don't know if height, high and low matters that much to them. Obviously, if you can throw strikes below the knees all day, it's going to affect the hitters.
Yeah, the hitters don't want to see that.
No, they
see
don't.
those pitches called.
But I still think it seems like they argue more over the corners instead of the high. I don't know. I was getting ready to say I think maybe it's easier to call the height.
Well, when you're watching,
maybe it's not.
When you're watching a game on TV and it shows the ball crossing the plate from straight above the plate, and you can tell that it's 4 inches off the plate.
You can't really see that on the height.
No.
Yeah.
And
All you
that's
can go
what
on
I've
the
seen
height is
this
the
year.
box, and who knows if that box is that electronic box they put up there is exactly right. Is the electronic box that they put up there good or bad for fans?
I like it.
Do you?
But I like more showing the replay in slow-mo of the ball's path
Yeah.
to the catcher's mitt
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, Richard will tell you this too. It don't matter if he may catch it out of the zone. If it's a slider or something and you catch it out of the zone, that doesn't mean it didn't catch the corner of the plate.
Yeah.
On its way past, I know that's a tight window there, but still there are some pitches that will cross the plate and then wind up. That's just like a fair ball bouncing over the base and it winds up foul. It rolls into foul territory. It's still what it was when it passed the base. So Rich said an umpire that calls strikes have much fewer issues than the ones that call balls. Always. Well, you know what I've always said. I didn't know much baseball, very little, but I did do quite a bit of softball. And a guy told me when I got into it, he said, "Outs get you out of here." Calling people safe makes a longer day.
Yep,
So what he was
right.
saying, when in doubt, the man is out.
Out.
That's kind of his,
Unless it's tied.
Unless it's tied. Oh man,
If it's tied, he's safe.
is he?
Yep.
And there are no such
Got to
things.
get a run.
There are no such things in baseball either as ties goes to the runner because something happened first. There's no way they can actually tie. One or the other. The ball hit the glove or the foot hit the base. One of them always happens first there. If you ever see a tie down to the microsecond, let me know, right? And you know what? They do a great job. And the hardest call on the bases, I'll see if Richard agrees with this, the hardest call when you're doing bases is the short hop to first base. Anytime that ball's in the dirt, you're going to hear multiple sounds. You know what I mean? The guy's hitting the bag. You hear that. You hear the ball hit the dirt. You hear the ball hit the glove. The hardest call is when that throws in the dirt and that first baseman comes up with it clean.
Yeah.
Or did he come up with it clean? That's another thing to figure in. Is he bobbling it when the guy crosses the bag? But
I'll tell you another tough one when an outfielder's running up on a fly ball and scoots to catch it. Did he trap it? Did the ball bounce first or did he trap it? That kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's a tough one too at times.
It is, and especially when your umpire is in the infield.
Yeah,
and he's got to be taken off toward it so he can see it. And
see
you know
it.
what? Think about trying to see what's happening as you're running. If you're a 250-pound umpire and you're running toward the ball, and you're trying to see if he caught it or if he didn't. Is replay good for that to make sure they got it right? We're not seeing replay in high school. We're not seeing it at all these other levels.
I think so in those kind of plays.
I like his answer. The tie goes to the umpire. He said that's a
Good
myth. It
answer.
goes to the runners. Rules state you must beat the ball. The rules state you must beat the ball. So, a tie goes to the umpires. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
A tie does go to the umpire because they're the one going to make that final
call.
a final choice. And overall, I don't care how many games you watch. Major League umpires, they're gonna score 95% or higher. You know what I mean? I think.
Well, it's just the ultimate level of professionalism.
It is.
And,
It is. And guess what? Are they not, unlike football, are they not year-round employees in baseball?
I think they are in baseball.
Yeah. So,
unlike football.
So they're not just sitting around all winter long.
They're always probably
learning, watching video,
professional
tweaking.
development.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I got to start with this one. Sorry, Lenny. Me and you both got to hear this one. Home opener yesterday at Fenway. Red Sox lose to the Twins by a score of 8-4 yesterday. The Mets. Brett had a trivia question for me yesterday because I really hadn't looked at the standings or anything and asked me which team was doing the best, which team had the best record at this point. And he said they made a lot of moves in the offseason, and that answer is the New York Mets. The Mets won over the Diamondbacks yesterday by a score of 10-2 to improve to 6-1 on the season. And I guess yesterday was their home opener since they're 1-0.
Actually 6-2, I think.
Did I say 6-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 6-2. My bad.
Yeah, everybody has lost at least two games.
Yeah, everybody has almost the same record: 3-4, 4-3, 5-2. I mean, it's just nobody's separated from the pack yet, obviously.
Richard says, by the way, there is a serious umpire shortage if anyone wants to apply.
I'll pass on that one.
And okay, I think a lot of different things have figured in to why there's an umpire shortage, and a lot of it is guys are just tired of getting hollered at and yelled at and cussed at for doing the best job they can. Richard, tell me if it's something different. I'd like to
too
know.
hot.
I'd like to know. Too hot. It's
That's
not
why.
right.
That's why I'm not doing
It's
it.
not right now.
Too hot.
It can be
It's
very,
not right now.
very
Now,
much
you
so.
come Legion season. There's
Yeah.
some
Too hot.
There's some brutal times that you're out there. I mean, we've seen guys wearing.
If I was
ice
ever
packs
going
on
to
their neck and
officiate, it
stuff.
would be basketball.
Basketball.
There's no weather.
A controlled setting.
Controlled environment.
Yeah. So the Mets yesterday, 10-3 over the D-backs, get their 6th win. The Nationals beat the Pirates 7-2. The Marlins over the Phillies 7-1. The Orioles beat the Yankees. That might be the only time we say that this year in 19 meetings. Orioles beat the Yankees 2-1. It was the Blue Jays over the Athletics 4-1. You call them the Athletics or the A's?
I prefer the A's.
Do you? Yeah. They always put it both ways. They got the A's logo and the Athletics is the name. Giants over the Guardians. You got used to that yet?
I have not got used to it.
How long will that take?
Never. I don't think I ever will.
The baseball has wings on it in the Guardian logo there. Giants beat the Guardians in Cleveland 4-1. White Sox over Tampa 3-2. White Sox also off to a good hot start at 5-2. Angels over the Rangers 9-6. The Tigers beat the Royals 2-1. Another team I like to follow is the Detroit Tigers. The Cardinals over the Brewers 10-1. Cardinals off to a 4-2 start. The Cubs and the Rockies. Rockies win 6-5 over the Cubs. The Rockies improved to 5-2. The Braves 5-2 over the Padres. Don't panic, Braves fans. 4-5. They didn't get off to a great start last year. As a matter of fact, they basically just had a great final month and made a push, got in the playoffs, and then wound up winning the whole shebang there last year. So it's about, don't get me wrong, it's not likely to happen 2 years in a row, play mediocre all year and then get in and make that kind of run. But, it's early. It's early. So the Mariners over the Astros 11-1. It was the Dodgers over the Reds 3-1. Brett said, "Get you some of that, Steve and Denny, if y'all are awake and listening this morning."
That's right.
Let's see what we got here in the way of the standings.
Well, I won't say who has the
after-
worst record in baseball right now.
You won't say?
Nah. No, you're about to, I think.
Is it my team?
No.
Okay. Oh, I'm about to because I'm gonna go through the standings. Yes. But not on purpose. They don't wear red, do they?
Yes.
They do wear red with a big C on the uniform.
I did not know that. We'll get to that in a second. Toronto leads the American League East by a game. They are 5-3. They lead Tampa and New York by 1 game. 4-4 are the Yankees and the Rays. Red Sox are 3-4. The Orioles are 2-5. So you're telling me somebody's worse than that?
Yep.
Or at least
Well,
even
somebody's
with
just
it.
played one more game.
Well, yeah.
The White Sox lead the Central. I could see the White Sox leading the Central from start to finish. That's a pretty solid baseball team. They lead right now. So next week when we come in here, they're going to be in last place. I just gave them the kiss of death. You realize that? 5-2. The Guardians are 4-3. The Tigers 4-4. Twins 3-4, and the Royals 2-5. Anything? We'll go through this division and I'll ask you a question. Astros lead the West at 4-3. Are they still as loaded as usual, Brett?
They lost a few guys.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. I know Springer, but he's been gone 2 years
Yeah.
now, right?
Correa's gone.
Oh, really?
He's with the Twins.
Okay.
Zach Greinke's gone. Back to the Royals where he started.
How about that?
But they did get Verlander back. He pitched.
Is he?
I think he's pitched 1 game so far.
The Astros 4-3. Oakland is 4-4. The Angels are 4-4. The Mariners are 4-4, and then the Texas Rangers at 2-5. Speaking of the Rangers, a couple nights ago there was a game that ended on a play that was replayed. There was a ground ball. They tried to turn a double play at second base. The guy slid straight over the bag, and but what they ruled was he impeded the throw to first base.
Okay.
And they reviewed it, and it didn't take long. I'm gonna say less than a minute. They reviewed it, and they called both base runners out, and they would have pulled. It was like a 10-8 game. Toronto beating Texas, and it was Texas that got a run on that play would have made it 10-9, but obviously it didn't wound up not counting. And then they would have had the tie and run still on base, with a chance to maybe tie. But the game ended there, and of course the Texas manager, he kind of went berserk, as you could expect, that was overturned and ruled. But you just have to see the play. I could see both sides. I could see how they said, but he went right over the base. You shouldn't call him out on that. But I could also see how when he got to the shortstop who was coming across the bag, or second baseman, whichever way was turning the play. I can't remember which side the ball was hit on. But anyway, when he got there to the player, he kind of raised a little bit. If he had just stayed down flat on his back, that's one thing. But when he kind of raised up a little bit, he did kind of mess with the guys. Guy wasn't going to throw him out anyway, though. He was not going to throw him out. But they ended the game, but went back and reviewed that and ended the baseball game. Any surprises to you guys in the American League? I know we only 7-8 games in for these teams. Everybody's played either 7 or 8. Is there anybody that in that I don't see a thing?
No,
I do not see a thing in
right.
there that I didn't expect, at least at this point. Boston 3-4, but 2 of those losses were to the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. They also lost to the Tigers once. They lost yesterday to the Twins. The Yankees 4-4. I think the Yankees obviously are going to rely on the long ball. So when it heats up, more long balls, right? So I think they'll be fine. Toronto's kind of like the quiet powerhouse in that division to me. I mean, we know what Tampa's done over the last several years, but Toronto, I think, has a chance to be, as good or better than anybody in that division as well. White Sox, I still think just by looking at their roster, of course, they did lose one of their better pitchers. What was his name? The guy from NC State?
Yeah, Rodon.
So I don't know if they replaced him or not.
Rodon went to the Giants. Right?
Is that where he's at?
Yeah. In fact, he was
Yeah,
the
he won
winner
a game
last night.
night. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Managed by who?
Gabe Kapler.
How about Baltimore's only scored 14 runs so far
in
7 games?
That doesn't surprise anybody, right?
Well,
No, that's really low.
I'd like to see what they
2
were
runs
last.
a
I'd like to
game.
see what last year they swept the Red Sox
To start the season?
Yeah, they went 3-0 and swept the Red Sox.
And then look at
last
the
year.
Yankees' run total. It's very low. Runs and runs against.
For them, yes,
25,
it is very
22.
low. Yeah, 25 and 22. Yeah. Yep. But then you look at some of the teams that have scored more runs, they've also give up more. Kind of strange, isn't it? So like that 33 and 38 up there for Tampa. Let's look at the National League standings real quick, and you can tell me what you think about it. The Mets are 6-2, basically best record in baseball at this point.
Well, given their off-season additions, maybe not that surprising.
Well, what's the guy's name that took over the Mets a year or so ago and said he was going to spend money, wanted the Mets to be good? I told Brett, I just hope they're the best team in New York. I don't care about the rest. Yeah. Well, I do. I do care about the rest too, because if the Mets are 120 and 40, and the Yankees are 119 and 41, I really didn't gain much.
Yeah.
So I really didn't gain a lot. But yeah, the Mets, they need to be. What's the word I'm looking for? Relevant. They need to be relevant with being in New York, spending the money and the capital that they've got to use and everything, in a world where all you have to do is pay luxury tax if you go over. There really is no salary cap.
Nope.
New York teams should be good. And New York sports, we've talked about this for a good while before.
They've been in a downer for years.
If you take the Yankees out, and the Nets are pretty good now.
Yeah.
But all those other teams, I mean, it's been pretty bad. Giants been bad, Jets been bad. The hockey's not been where it normally is up there. They got 3 teams.
The Giants were bad for the entire 2010s, pretty much, weren't they? I mean,
seems like it.
That's the way I remember it anyway.
It does seem like it. And I don't know what either one of those franchises do to get back headed in the right direction. It's a little. I mean, we know it's harder in football. It's harder because you got a strict cap that you have to play by. Mets 6-2, Nationals 4-5, Braves 4-5, Marlins 3-4, Phillies 3-5 to start the season. In the Central, it's the Cardinals with a half-game lead over the Cubs. Cards are 4-2, Cubs 4-3. Milwaukee is 4-4. Pittsburgh 3-4, Cincinnati 2-6, And in the West, the Rockies lead over the Dodgers, Giants, Padres.
Now,
they
that's a
don't
bit
lead.
of a surprise.
They don't lead.
They're tied.
Yeah.
C comes before L and S.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
alphabetically
that's why they're on
lead.
top.
They alphabetically lead.
Yeah, the Rockies, Dodgers, Giants are 5-2. The Padres are 5-4. The Diamondbacks 2-5. But still, Brett, they have to be the surprise
That's what I'm thinking.
in a week. I know it's only a week, but the Rockies 5-2. That has to be a surprise. They're not going to hold that ground. Not with those three powerhouses in there. Are they?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Do they still have the other Sasquatch play? Does he still play for them or for the Rockies? The long hair, long beard to match.
Charlie Blackmon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still
He's still
plays.
there?
Yeah.
Yep.
But they did lose Trevor Story.
Yep.
Lost Arenado
Thank
a couple
goodness.
years ago.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I say. And I don't know who they're pitching.
They added
I
Chris
can't
Bryant,
name you.
so they're
Okay.
they're trying.
Yeah. Well,
Chris Bryant's hitting 379 so far.
Guys, do you know that the Giants have given up the fewest runs in the majors so far? 17.
is that the lowest number?
Looking down the column, I think
Anybody?
so.
Ooh, there's a 41 for the
Ooh.
Angels.
Ooh.
44
City
for the
of
Rangers.
Angels.
44 for the Rangers. A lot of runs given up in 7
Ooh.
games. Math,
With
quick.
the Braves.
6.5 runs a game.
51.
51
not
for the
good.
Braves, and they're 4-5.
God.
So the Braves, they got pounded one night, didn't they? Didn't the Padres just like
Yeah.
score
Yeah, 2 nights
15
ago.
or 16 or something?
Yeah,
on
you
them?
can lose 14-2, and that makes up
right,
for a lot of that.
Right. If you're gonna lose, it
12
doesn't-
to 1.
That's one thing
2
about
nights
it.
ago.
If you're gonna lose, does it really matter what the score?
Doesn't matter.
14 to 1 and 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Just may hurt your feelings a little bit, but other than that,
Yeah.
the win column. The win column and loss column is much more important than the runs scored and the runs allowed. I will have to say that. But, and usually as time dwindles down, the teams that rise to the top are the ones that have that low number
Yeah.
on the
yeah.
runs allowed.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
runs allowed.
And so your Giants are looking pretty good, Mike, in the start.
Yeah, well, obviously the pitching.
17 runs through
pitch-
7 games. That's just 2.5 a game. I mean,
They
that's
got a
you should win most of your games.
they got a
when
plus
you're doing
14
that.
margin, so then and the pitching's been pretty good so far.
Yep. Lenny, I was going to mention this. I'm glad you went ahead and did. He sent it to me. I was watching the game last night, and I sent Mike and I sent Brad a message. Mackenzie Gore was making his major league debut last night for the Padres. I got a no decision last night. I fell asleep after 2 innings. Anybody that knows Mackenzie Gore will remember he pitched for Whiteville High School, and I'm pretty sure he pitched against Cherryville Ironman
Yeah.
in a state championship series.
Now, we don't know
can't-
whether he won that his team won that series or lost that series. So.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he won his game.
Right.
But I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe somebody can tell us. But Gore was, boy, he looks the part. I don't know if you guys watched him any at all last night. But what is he, Brett? 6'4", 6'5", left-hander, bringing heat. Good curveball, slider. I mean, I thought he looks the part of a major league pitcher that's going to be around for a long time. My first thoughts when after I watched him pitch this couple innings was he'll win a Cy Young one day. And maybe I'm totally off on that, but he just looks like the kind of guy that could be a Cy Young winner one day. I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. And Lenny, I'm glad you reminded me there of him. Rodney says that Max Scherzer will make more this year than the Pirates. That's cash.
Wow.
Max Scherzer will make more this year than the entire Pirates roster will make. That is
I wonder if the
that's sad. That's sad for baseball. I don't want that.
I don't either.
I do not want that.
yeah.
We want parity. I want parity. Maybe we don't, but I want.
And you got to feel for the fans of Pittsburgh, which is a great sports
At
city.
one time, it was a baseball town before it ever became a football town like it is now. It was a baseball town to the 70s, to the early 70s. And guess what made it a football town? Winning.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be winning.
We
Richard,
are family.
We're going to take our last time out here in just a second. But Richard said, yes, lack of respect from fans, parents, and some coaches, low pay, no young guys want to do it, and people not knowing the rules of the game good enough to call the game.
That's right.
Most umpires, it has to be somebody that played. I mean, if you didn't,
you pretty much have to have
you have
played.
to, right. most umpires' average age in Western Piedmont is over 50.
Wow.
It will only get worse with shortages. Multiple middle and high school games using one umpire behind the mound now because of shortage. Some games
so nobody on the bases.
Get this, some games even canceled. And I have been to a game where the middle school umpires walked over and did the high school game. They did the middle school game, and then when they finished, they walked over and did the high school game. So they were doubling up on that one particular night. Lenny says he actually lost. Gore got beat by Cherryville. Cherryville beat him when Gore was a junior on the mound. That Cherryville won that game.
All right.
So did Cherryville win the state that year?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. I had to be, 5 years ago?
5 or 6 years ago.
Maybe less than 5.
I remember that Danny Akers' grandson was on that Cherryville team.
Okay.
It says Gore's 23.
23? So 6 years ago, probably. 17.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting. Now, he looked good. I'm gonna tell you right now, he looked good. I don't know what is, when you in baseball, you don't go straight into college, or some don't go to college. Some go straight into the pros, and then you lose track of them. I mean, let's face it, you lose track a little bit.
Because it takes some years to resurface. And
I'd kind of forgotten about him. He, my thoughts hadn't been wondering what he's doing. Till last night, I was just on MLB Network, and they started talking about him and how good a career he had in high school. And they went back to some others. They said, where do you rank him in North Carolina history? Had some guy on TV, and he said, the kid from Carteret, what was his name, Brian Taylor, back in the day. You remember him, Mike? I know Lenny will remember Brian Taylor. Got drafted by the Yankees, but they said he had some kind of – I never remembered why it didn't work out. He had some kind of freak accident and never got to pitch in the majors, but they thought he was going to be a big-time pitcher out of, I think, East Carteret. I may be wrong. It could have been West, but I think he was out of East Carteret down there on the coast. But Brian Taylor, and then they started talking about Gore is in that category. He is the kind of pitcher that's in that category. So anxious to see. They said he struggled a little bit during the COVID year, but that he came back the first COVID year. Came back last year and was much more effective. Gave up his only earned run of the year against Cherryville. Was it 1-0? Did they lose 1-0? Only earned run of the year. We got to take that final time out. Hold that thought, Mike.
Yep.
Back in just a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
Welcome back. All right, I'm going to give him a chance. Mike, do you remember what your thought was as we were going to break?
No, it escaped me.
I've already forgot what we were actually talking about there at the moment before we decided to go that break.
Yeah, let's move on. I don't remember.
Mo Vaughn. He was a Red Sox player.
Mo Vaughn, yeah.
Let's see. Lenny says there was a couple more unearned runs in that game. And we're talking about the Cherryville and Whiteville game when Mackenzie Gore was pitching. Yeah, Lenny, we looked it up, or Brett did. We didn't. He said it was a 5-4 game. Lenny said it's something like 4-3, and he's exactly right. It was a one-run game.
I do remember the 7-4 game, listening to that on the radio, I think. It was played in Whiteville, I believe. Or played somewhere neutrally. I forget. Where Raleigh
probably was
somewhere.
neutral.
Raleigh,
UNCG
probably.
or something.
Yeah, right.
I see. He says as a junior he'd already committed to ECU, but we know what happened from there. You know, I do know what happened from there. I think I do anyway, but I don't know the size of the check. The Padres obviously drafted him, and I guess he decided just to go for the signing bonus. And I don't know. Any idea what that was, Lenny? What kind of signing bonus Mackenzie Gore got to go straight into the Padres organization? And because I don't know, that. But that's my guess, is he did just skip college altogether and go in, because I don't remember him pitching for any of the colleges around. Have you guys paid any attention this year to college baseball?
I haven't. I mean, I listened a little bit on ESPNU radio, Sirius. They've started to talk about it a little bit, just, winding down from basketball. But Tennessee Volunteers were on a heck of a roll.
Yes, they were.
In the SEC.
Yep. Weren't they? I mean, they just run all over Vanderbilt, didn't they?
Yeah.
In a series.
And they were 10-0 in the league
we know
or something.
We know what Vanderbilt have been like over the last couple of years. Let's see what I'm looking for here. If it can be found, college sports, that may help. It just will not give me. It is hard to find what college baseball.
Oh yeah,
it's hidden for whatever reason here. There we go, college baseball, but it's not really a headline that's going to.
Looks like Gore signed a $6.7 million.
Will that keep you from going to college?
Yeah.
It would be a yes.
6.7.
His
Million.
junior year, he had a .08 ERA. And his senior year, he had a .19 ERA.
Wow. That's incredible. Lenny said they played that in Zebulon at Mudcat
Zebulon,
Stadium.
okay,
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Roger says Vols are number 1 in the nation. And that's a what happened every time?
He was a third overall pick.
Third overall. Who went ahead of him? Do we know him? Or does that even list
I
that?
don't.
Okay,
I have to
it's
look
not
that
putting
up.
that part up there. Tennessee is number 1 in the nation. They've held that for at least 2 weeks because it says their previous ranking was number 1. Miami moved up from number 8 to number 2 this week, so the Hurricanes are ranked 2nd, followed by Oregon State, Texas. Oregon State, Lenny, I know that's a thorn in the Carolina
UNC
fans' side. Yeah,
side.
I think they eliminated them twice, didn't they? From College World Series contention.
Once in the finals.
Once was definitely in the finals.
Yeah.
Not sure about the other. You got Texas Tech. Who put Texas Tech
On the map.
in everything?
Everything.
In everything.
Yeah.
They have become good
Yeah.
in just about
way
every
out there
sport.
on the plains of Lubbock.
27-8 is Texas Tech. So you got Tennessee, Miami, Oregon State, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State follows that. You got a SEC, a ACC, a Pac-12, and a Big 12. Right? And then you got back-to-back Big 12s with Oklahoma State. So pretty good, what I want to call it there. Variety, that teams aren't all from one conference or whatever. But it seems like the majority of them are from from the South. A lot of good from the Southeast and the Southwest. Of course, that's just the way baseball is because it's so cold up north. All your better baseball players tend to head to the southern states to play. But Oklahoma State 5th, Arkansas 6th, followed by Texas, Virginia, who's been good over the last 10 years, Louisville, and Notre Dame. Your Irish, Brett, in the mix. Southern Miss, UCLA, Georgia, Gonzaga, LSU, and this is a great one that I always love to see in there, Dallas Baptist.
Baptist.
I remember when they came on the scene and they won a regional, maybe even won a super regional, and got to the College World Series, a small school like that. Now, in here with all these powerhouse names, and you got Dallas Baptist.
Well, let's go back a few years to Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers. Now, I think they're probably a bigger school than Dallas Baptist.
But why do you think that?
Maybe not.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to check out because just by the name, you think Coastal Carolina is bigger than Dallas. I think that's the only thing you're going by.
That's all you're going by.
Dallas
They may have
Baptist
a bigger
sounds like
campus.
a church softball team,
Yeah,
don't it?
Yeah, it does. In a church league somewhere. Yeah, but interesting. Oh, while we're at it, in case somebody cares, my Oklahoma Sooners softball team now 38-0.
38 and
Now, can they get? Here's the question: they're blowing out everybody. Can they go? Is it possible to go undefeated?
Sure it is.
Win the College World Series?
Guess who it's possible for? Those that haven't lost.
Yes, it's I'm sure they'll. Well, I don't know. I mean, their margin of victory is like 10 or 12 runs.
Let's go through the couple of these because I do want to hit something since you said it, Mike. You brought something to my attention. I need to say. Let's see, where did I finish off? Dallas Baptist 16, and here's the rest. 17 Auburn, 18 UConn. We've got a North team,
UConn,
a Northern team that
they
is
play
ranked.
baseball.
I didn't even know it.
Ah,
Number 19, Texas State. 20 is Arizona. 21, Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech also makes me think of what I need to say in a moment. 22, Stanford. 23, Florida. 24, Alabama. And 25, Ole Miss. You mentioned that Oklahoma softball is
38-0.
38-0. East Lincoln Mustang softball
Undefeated.
is 16-0 heading into spring
remarkable.
break.
Amazing.
Will the week and a half off affect them, I wonder, because they're not planning anything. According to their schedule,
No Easter tournament.
according to their schedule, they're done until after
Yeah, well,
the break. But they went deep into playoffs last year. I think they got beat in not the finals of the West, but the semifinals of the
So
West.
They got into the fourth round. Okay.
But I think that's how far they went. But now they're 16-0. I just wonder,
I know.
will the break affect them?
It's a long break.
And then I wanted to mention this too. because a lot of people probably don't know this. We know because we followed a little bit, but most people don't know the nation's leading home run hitter in high school baseball resides in Denver, North Carolina.
The Corral.
The Corral. Yep. The young man by the name of Garrett Michelle has hit 13 home runs after hitting 2 more a couple nights ago.
Against Ford, by the way.
Yeah, against a good team. And Ford, who they beat this time. They lost 2 the first time. This time they beat them in 6.
Which puts them back in the race, right?
1 game bout, I think. Yeah. Behind 3 teams, though. Mm-hmm. But Garrett Michelle has 13 home runs. A state record for a season is 20. Paul Brennan, Kings Mountain. And Taylor Michelle, I don't think he'll get to 20. No. It's just hard. I mean, one game this week he was intentionally walked 3 times.
That's happening now.
He also walked an unintentional time and was hit by a pitch. So his 5 at-bats were not at-bats.
So everybody's figured out. They don't pitch.
Well, you can't whenever if the game's on the line, for sure. You know, if I got a guy at second base and there's 2 outs, I'm walking him. You know.
Yeah, I wonder how many times he's walked this year. I mean, you can probably get those stats.
Well, I think the other night was the one that really brought that
3 times.
To light. Yeah. Well, 4. And hit by a pitch.
Yeah.
Just 3 intentionals though.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to get. I mean, just by what do you get? How many at bats you get in a high school game? 3 to 4, 7 innings at the most usually.
Yeah.
Be tough.
Yep. But now he's had more games with multiple home runs than he has games with just 1 home run.
That's right.
So he could, he's had, what now, Brett, 4 games with 2 and 1 with 3?
He's hitting them in bunches.
Yeah.
When he
yes, he is. Lenny says the game that year was the year that we did softball in Greensboro. West Lincoln was playing, and they were playing South Granville.
South Granville, that's right.
Also, BD was playing in Burlington, I think. That was East Rutherford baseball, and he won his last state championship there.
Right.
UConn is a baseball power. Recent alum George Springer and Matt Barnes are UConn graduates, says Lenny. That's impressive, and I would not have guessed that.
I just figured in Connecticut by the time it's good baseball weather, their season is
Well, my guess is they're flying south and playing a lot till May arrives. Once May arrives, of course, then it's almost playoff time. How about that? It's good to see Tennessee on top there in baseball. 31-1. Who's their loss to, Roger?
Incredible.
Who is the one loss that they have? 31-1 on the
Florida.
Season. That is. He won't send it if it's them, and I don't blame him. I understand the.
I
rivalry.
do remember seeing that they finally lost, but I don't remember the opponent.
It could have been. I mean, Florida's. Did I mention them in the top 25?
No,
I know I mentioned Auburn and Georgia in that top 25.
Well, anybody in the ACC? You mentioned Miami. Who else from the ACC? Anybody?
Virginia.
Notre Dame's pretty good.
Notre Dame is in there.
Yeah.
At one time, a freshman at NC State was leading the nation in home runs in college. I don't know what the status is of him, but State's not. I didn't mention NC State being on the board there. Texas, Roger says, that Texas was the team that beat them. Lenny says, I think they played together, and he's talking about Matt Barnes and George Springer.
Okay.
Hey, this was fun this morning.
It was.
It was. Quite a bit going on. Enjoy some Major League Baseball over the weekend. Is there anything else big going on sports-wise over the weekend, or is it just kind of slow?
The Easter weekend.
Happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter. Hope it's decent weather tomorrow. I don't know what it'll be.
And wishing you a quick recovery, Butch Parker.
Absolutely.
We'll see you back at the breakfast table.
We do.
For Mike, Brad, I'm David. See you next week on Sports Talk.